Brandon, how do you organize budgeting in college, and what would be some side hustles for some college students coming up this year?
Oof. The way I saved up a lot of money in college was obviously, okay, I'll say this is different for me than it is for other people. Now, if you have a good supporting cast behind you, it is way different than when you're doing it by yourself. Me, when it comes to paying, I'm paying for myself. I'm paying it all by myself. Now, when it comes to like housing, I have a good supporting cast when it comes to housing because I know people that will like, hey, you can stay here. I got you. Ain't got to worry about nothing. As long as you keep do your portion, keep it clean, do this and that, I'm good. Like most of the things, like when it comes to getting accessories, people I know connections.
Welcome back to Open Agenda Podcast with JustSai and BDB. We
What's
are
up,
here
y'all?
on today's episode called The AI Era and Technology Careers in Everyday Lives. And today we're going to just start off with introducing the theme of this episode, why AI is one of the biggest conversations today, and what listeners can expect on today's episode for the first 5 minutes and for the rest of the time where I'm going to give dirt baths to those people today because I'm in a dirt bath mood now. So, in this episode, we will talk about how we will dive into evolving the world, artificial intelligence, and digital technology, exploring how AI is transforming careers, businesses, healthcare, and everyday life. We will discuss opportunities and challenges of emerging technologies of the future work, ethical concerns, and how can we prepare for a world innovation advancing faster than ever. Join the conversation today as they share, excuse me, I don't know why it has it like that. See, now that's AI for you. As we share real world opportunities and predictions for the next age of AI. And Brandon, please start by elaborating why is AI one of the biggest conversations in today?
Well, AI is one of the biggest conversations today because almost everybody uses AI, but everybody uses AI in different ways. The main thing people use AI for is education, mainly college students when it comes to having a big essay. You have AI to help you out with making a general idea of what you want to type in your essay, because nobody writes essays anymore. But you use AI to let you know what type of general idea you want to type for your essay. Some people use AI to create videos, create pictures for something like a flyer, maybe whatever, like a poster, something like that. And then some people like myself who barely use AI, but when you use AI because there's something you look up on the internet, but you can't get the true answer. So you go to AI to see if you can get your answer. And sometimes you get your answer, sometimes you won't get your answer.
Fair take. Yeah, I would agree with Brandon. My reasoning of AI is one of the biggest conversations today is because we use it. A lot of people use it now, and in the business world, we use it a lot. We use it a lot, and we use it as references a lot. So,
Hmm.
let's continue on within the episode. What is artificial intelligence? So, some things we're going to talk about here is AI. We're going to explain it in simple terms. I'm going to let BDB do that. Brief history of AI. We're going to elaborate on common AI tools that we use every day. And then I'm going to talk about the myths versus facts about AI. But BDB, what is AI in just simple terms?
I say just technology, computers, even main thing like everyday tool, I'll say Siri. Everybody uses Siri, and Siri is technically AI. Google, you could say Google's AI, Safari, Microsoft, whatever you use. I mean, all that stuff is AI.
So the history of artificial intelligence has spanned over 70 years, evolving from theoretical concepts into a transformative global technology. It is defined by periods of massive optimism, followed by funding droughts, and eventually completing in today's breakout era of machine learning and generative AI. So, and it started in the 1950s, and then within they had
Hmm.
the AI experts, the expert system, the AI winner. The 1960s to the 1980s. The foundation started in the 1950s. Excuse me, correction right there. Thank you. Statistical learning and the chess milestones from the 1990s to the early 2000s. Deep, the deep learning of the revolution of AI has started in the early 2010s, and the generative AI itself was in 2020 when it all began, and that's when things started to
Yep.
come together for AI. And that's just a
So,
little bit brief common history. Common tools of AI we use every day are ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Deep AI. We use these common tools every day in our everyday livelihoods based on when we're making flyers, videos. Like Brandon said, Siri. We use that. Hey Siri, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? So those
mhm.
are simple common tools I would like to say about AI. Also, we have it where we're going to talk about the myths versus the facts of AI. I'm going to read the 5 myths, and then I'm just going to define the facts of what the information we got here from Google. The first myth is AI thinks and learns like a human. The second myth is AI will take all human jobs. The third myth is AI is always 100% accurate and unbiased. The
That's a
fourth
lie.
myth is AI is only for computer experts. The fifth myth, AI will take over the world. Um,
Mhm.
so the number one fact around all these myths, and it's pretty obvious, AI is programmed by humans. So if it will take over something, it'll be a human taking over it using artificial intelligence to do it. Number two, AI does not have human traits like empathy, critical thinking, or social interaction that will remain irreplaceable. So you can never do that. Number three, and the last fact about this, it doesn't have any beliefs, it does not have no feelings, or it doesn't stand for a true understanding. So we have to remember that AI does not have the boundaries to go on the experts level of a human being, people like me and Brandon. So it could never get to these points. So trust and believe, folks. The only way we get to this point if somebody does it themselves. So yeah, on that.
Like I'm gonna say this. If y'all know, y'all know. This will not be the video game Detroit Become Human. We will not end up like that. We will not. And another thing, I prayerfully hope we don't end up like them people in the movie Wally. If y'all know Wally, you know what I mean. Hopefully, we don't end up like that.
Oh, what did there's a movie Cars. We're gonna go a little off traffic. Yeah, I think about this person, Nate, from school. Fitting the saddle. Yeah, that thing, Professor, whatever Nate reminds me of this. Fitting the saddle. I'm gonna put him up on the screen, yo. Fitting the saddle. Yo, that is so funny. That is like the best. Cars 2, one of my favorite Cars movies. I like the whole spy thing. And all in all, and oil. Oh, we don't want to talk about oil. It's too many politics right now. But let's continue. How do we use AI in everyday lives? Brandon once stated earlier, smartphones and virtual assistants such as Siri. That is what we would call that. Social media algorithms, Brandon. What is your social media algorithm surrounding AI when it comes to DJing?
So I usually don't use I mainly never use AI when it comes to DJing. But if I ever do use AI, I have done it 2 times because there has say like a song or a beat that you'll hear, right? And if I can't deter what that song or beat is, I'll screen record it and I'll say, "Hey, AI, what is this song? What is this beat?" Now, if AI can deter and pick out what that song or that beat is, it'll tell me, "Hey, this is the song. This is the beat." Now, if it cannot, it'll also say, "Hey, I can't deter what this song or beat is," because sometimes if it's because the songs I would screen record is at a football game, right? It's from a football game, and it'll say the crowd is too loud to the point where I can't hear the music itself, and I'm like, okay, or the person is too far away from the speakers that they can't hear the sound or the music or whatever, So if I can't pick it up from AI, then it's just like, okay, well, I just got to do some really, really good research. and that type of thing. Now, there are some DJs out there who, not even DJs, you could say producers, because DJs and producers are two different things, but producers out there who will use AI to create a beat, who will, like, they create beats for them, and AI will help them out with that. So that's also another thing with that.
Hmm. Social media recommendations that AI uses are Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, Meta. There's other social media algorithms. If you're doing cash advances, use AI. You can talk with AI about saving money and such or whatever. I think Cash App is going to be innovating AI soon in the company and the day to day with their how do you purchase stock market and their brands for that. So that's what I also think. That's what's going to go down and what's going to happen between those two.
Mhm.
And using social streaming recommendations, but for streaming platforms, I would say, and when we're on the topic of streaming, and we know what's going on today and now the next 3 or 4 days, and I'm gonna mention this after this. Streaming recommendations: YouTube, Twitch, Discord. What are other streaming
Kick,
platforms?
kick.
Tech, yeah. I used to stream and I used to stream on YouTube. So look, I don't really know what the streaming platform is, but we want to like put this conversation on a quick halt. I'm gonna have one of those go off segments, guys. Here we go. Kai Cenat is having a streamer university right now, and I
Mhm.
think that's good. I like it, but Kai, here's a quick suggestion. I'm not commenting on being biased or unbiased. I just feel like it's nice that you have good millionaires and people who already have money on there, and you're gonna make more money and double the revenue. I believe in that, and I also believe in giving local and little streamers a chance. So I was eagerly disappointed that the Drippy Youngins were not selected onto Streamer University, and I had voted for them and reposted everything for them. So I was disappointed, even though that LP, and yeah. So here's where I'm gonna go off on you now. You go on Instagram and you repost a clip, right, of me giving you the reason why you're on my hit list. Wow, I can't believe that you were so low enough to do that. You get a dirt bag for that, folks. And you know why I'm mad with you. So how about you just come out and we all just say the truth and we be good to go. Once you say the truth, we good, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just disappointed. But as I was saying, Streaming University I think was a great idea. For upcoming and young folks in the streaming industry. So I would like them to continue with success and to succeed and feel comfortable in what they're going to do, and just make sure we do things wisely and everything is remaining in the right direction and in the right way. And also, don't
Yep.
forget you can use AI when it comes to streaming. If you're not able to talk to your followers or listeners, AI, you can have an AI system program. Even if you have to pay, you can have a system ready and going for that. So please remember that, folks. Smart homes and wearable technology, AI, Apple Watch, boom. AirPods, boom. Um, AI refrigerator, you can talk to it, you can do it. They have this new AI portable TV that walks around the house. I think I want to get that for my room. So when I'm in
Really?
that bed, yeah, they have this thing where it walks around and you program it and it comes around. And I'm like, yo, if I get that, I'll never have to get up my bed, folks. So,
Oh yeah,
that
no,
sounds pretty good.
Y'all trying to turn
I
me like
like
the
that.
movie Wally?
Oh,
Mm-mm,
no, no, oh, no. Yo, you get a dirt bag, okay? So that's all that is. BDB gets another dirt bag. Ian gets another
y'all.
dirt bag.
I gotta get up. I gotta get to moving. Y'all gonna be. I gotta move. I got to
Hmm.
move.
Also, so we're gonna continue, right? And AI and education and careers. And what we're gonna define in this episode is how are students using AI? AI in classrooms. Jobs AI may replace. New careers AI is creating. Skills people should learn for the future. I'm going to start off with the first two bullet points, and I'm going to let Brandon take on the rest, which are jobs AI may replace. You can look that up if
Mm.
you want. New careers AI is creating, and skills people should learn for the future. But I'm going to talk about these two, how students are using AI and AI in classrooms, because that's me right there. That's all me. Um, how I use AI. So it depends on the class. So if it's business class, I have authorization to go ahead and use it. And especially when we're looking on day-to-day projects, from day-to-day conferences, from week to week, and we're going back, we're referencing it, and we'll use chat on one thing, we'll use Google Gemini on another. We will debate and go back and forth. We're just like, it's like a numbering program system we use it for. And then me, my other four counter partners, which is Nate, CJ, and Steve, we'll have a debate and create the problems surrounding it and word it the right way. So that's human intelligence right there. And then we'll use that artificial intelligence for numbering things out and the calculations and how do we finance this and how could we retail or manage in this particular market and why will we go about it in that market and what is a projection. Now we're going to go to AI, artificial intelligence. We're going to say a projection. And then we're going to say, all right, we projected this, but the problem, what is the problem? So that goes back to human intelligence. So it's a back and forth of two different intelligences and two different references. So that's how we kind of use it in school and in our classrooms. So Brandon, what are some jobs AI could replace?
Who could replace? That's a good question.
What are maybe
Because see, if
replace?
you say, because I know jobs that AI could not replace, but could replace.
Right.
Hmm.
And new careers AI is creating. I think
Hmm.
it's kind of like simple BDB. I know I'm catching him off guard. It feels so
Yeah,
good.
you catching me off
I'm
guard for real.
catching him
Like
off guard.
I don't know.
This
I don't know.
he just
Cause
don't know, but he just get a dirt map for that. That's like
see,
insane.
this what y'all gotta understand. We got because see, this is the great thing between me and Sai. Sai is an AI user. I'm not an AI user. So you guys understand the two different worlds of someone who uses AI on a of someone who uses AI on a frequency base or frequently than me versus someone who doesn't use AI on a frequent basis. So it's like you getting two different types of people here. You know, like me, like I said, I don't know nothing about AI like that. I'm telling you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to Google, folks. Job AI could replace, and what it's gonna tell me, because I didn't know the answer to the question either, folks. Customer service agents. Yes, that is the number one job that is going to get most likely replaced. I can call JetBlue, Amtrak, or whatever transportation, and AI. I'm talking to AI. What is your credit card number? What is your name? What is your this? What is your that? Now I'm going to connect you to a human representative. Or I can't connect you to a human representative because there's none available. So you're gonna have to talk to me. So yeah, it's kind of that with AI is the number one job that looks like it's going to replace. I do believe that. Data entry and clerks, most certainly. Bookkeepers, yeah. People like
Hmm.
accounting. If you don't
Yeah.
do it physically, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tough to say, you know. I don't want to
Yeah.
bash the
Yeah.
accountants with the CPAs. I love my CPA folks, but looks like you guys can be replaced by AI and financing. So only way that we can stop that is if we just do it ourselves and not implement AI in those categories. Basic
Hey.
writers and editors. Um, AI consistently makes blogs, so yeah. Writers and editors. The only thing about a real writer and editor that I would like better than AI, it does not have an algorithm, and like I said, human intelligence is better than artificial intelligence because the algorithm is never going to be old with us. We are always on the move. AI is not always on the move. There's a simple difference in that. So, and that's the final answers for AI in our education, our careers, and then, But as we continue on this episode, and this is a pretty short episode, folks, because we don't want to hold but for so long. And we're going to preview episode 6 and what we'll be discussing in that episode. It'll be a little bit, I want to spoil it right here, but continue to watch and you'll find out. But
You to
for the
watch.
next minute or so, let's talk about the pros and cons of AI. What are the pros of AI, Brandon?
The pros of AI is it helps you find things when you just cannot find it yourself. When you say, "Hey, I need your help finding this," it'll help you find it. Next thing that is another pro. It can help like sort things out. You say, "Hey, can you put this in a Google spreadsheet for me? Put it in this column, this column, this column, that column." It can do that for you. It can help you out with that stuff. Like AI helps you if you use it in the way that it's supposed to be used. It is very, very beneficial. Now, the cons to AI, you cannot, and a lot of people be doing this where they be making videos of people saying things or people doing things, all this and that. And now, credit some of those videos, they do be funny, but at the same time, you got to be very careful with what you do with those because that is also illegal because that person can say there's defamation, all that stuff. Because, like I said, a lot of people they use AI to make someone look bad and everything like that. I don't know why some people do that, but we have a lot of crazy people out here. Like I always say, when you think it is unthinkable, when you think it is impossible, there is somebody out there in this world, out of all 8 billion, maybe 9 billion of us people out there that got to make it possible somehow, some way. And I'd be like, this is crazy. But that's the biggest con with me for AI is that people be making videos of other people. And then some people, it's like they'll take a picture of somebody else and put it on some. I don't want to get into that type of topic, but parents, be careful when you post your kid on the internet because there's some people out there who they'll take your kids and they'll put them in a video that you don't want them to be put in and make them look. There's a lot of weirdos out there. Trust me, and a lot of people, they be doing that weird stuff with that. And that's where I don't like when it becomes to AI because it's like sometimes I'll be like, AI, y'all got to restrict these people when it comes to these type of things. But that's mainly my biggest con for AI.
I'm gonna say the bullet points I have here for the pros and cons, and then I'm gonna explain some of the pros and cons myself. Increased productivity, innovation, and creativity. It also has privacy concerns, such as Brandon related to the parents of the children, bias and misinformation or disinformation. Please be very careful about that. And ethical questions surrounding AI. You can be a lawyer, but you can be the most unethical lawyer that I've known in my lifetime. Ethical. Very, very strong. Some people do things very, very unethical. But some key advantages as pros: AI has unmatched efficiency, enhanced accuracy, 24/7 availability, advanced problem solving. Those are the key pros, top 4 pros in the world of using artificial intelligence. Very good. Now, here are the disadvantages, major disadvantages, and I have like 5 of them listed here. Job displacement, bias and unfairness, privacy risk, misinformation and deep fakes, loss of human judgment. And the loss of human judgment is when AI lacks empathy, moral reason, and genuine emotion, which makes it use sensitive fields like customer service or mental health as a potential problematic situation. If you have a mental health disorder or you're going through a hard time, folks, I would suggest seeing an actual person, not going to ChatGPT and AI. Sometimes ChatGPT and AI could be programmed to tell you something because their algorithm is not updated. Now, BB, you feel free to go ahead.
Look now, what you said, you nailed it right in the coffin. Do not be going to AI if you got some problems going on, and stay away from TikTok. Just because you hear it from your TikTok doctor, just because AI told you something, do not mean you got that. Okay? A lot of these people acting like they got this and that. No, you don't. You got like 1 out of 8 symptoms. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Okay? No diss on people who actually have something wrong with them. But I hate when people be like, "Oh, I got this and that wrong with me," and ain't nothing wrong with you, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You just found that out from your TikTok doctor, or you got that from AI, and you got like 1 out of the 8 symptoms. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with you.
Uh, Hey, here's the thing: job displacement. The great pastor man. I think he uses foul language in on church, which certain things that he uses there. I was listening to what he was saying, and I was like, yo, he's telling the truth about some of these people. You know what I'm saying? And get up and get a job. Go find actual work, folks, please. Go
Exactly.
do something. Don't sit around. I used to sit around. Don't get me wrong. I used to sit around, but that's because I didn't know no better. Now I know better. People know better, and they choose just to allow AI to solve their problems for them. It don't work like
Exactly.
that. You
Exactly.
have to understand the common principles and comprehend when someone can disagree with something also. That's another
Hmm.
major issue. I'm going to disagree with a lot of folks, but I'm never going to use AI to do it. I have my own mind. I don't need nobody to tell me how to I elaborate something.
Exactly.
Especially if I'm known in this topic of discussion. So don't use AI in any of your argumentative statements. I would highly
Exactly.
not
It
recommend
is.
that.
I always say, if you got to go to AI or a robot for help on something that you going through, that's when you know, yeah, brother, you the one that need help. You need some serious help. Because ain't no way
Right,
there ain't no way you going through something. And the first thing you saying is, let me ask Chat GBT. Excuse me? How about go deal, if you got problems with somebody, go deal with that person with their problem. Don't go to Chat GBT, because guess what? That chat got no emotions like humans do. Like,
right.
get,
And then look, job displacement is automatic threatens traditional jobs, especially low-skilled jobs requiring significant workforce retraining and social economic shifts. You cannot use artificial intelligence. You already have to have human intelligence to go about that.
exactly.
Please,
And
please.
look, and my thing is with AI, like I said, it's if you use it to help you, that is fine. A lot of people, like when it comes to certain jobs, and some people use AI to help them get through with their work quicker. Some people say, "Oh, you're lazy." Oh, I said, "I'm not." Sometimes I'll be like, "I'm not lazy. That's just me smartly doing something." Because how I say it, because hard work don't do nothing but give you more work. Working hard
Right.
do nothing. It do nothing but giving you more work. Working smarter does a lot, so I can get done with my work quicker, and I can go do what I want to do even quicker. I tell people, I say, look, if you use an AI and say like you got a 9 to 5 and you gotta sort some stuff out, do whatever. If you got AI and it fills it out for you and you done by like 2:30, 3 o'clock, guess what? You got 2 hours to do whatever you want to do. Versus that person who's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna try and do it hard work way." Okay, well you can do it the hard work way, and guess what? You gonna be right there the next morning still working on the same thing. So look, you gotta smartly use AI. There's a lot of people who just use AI very stupidly. There's a lot of them.
hmm We're also going to talk about how AI and college sports, and that's going to be really good. Now, that's probably, oh, folks, let me just remind you, we're always going to use sports in most likely every single episode coming
Yes.
up. Yeah, we're going to
100%.
use sports, and we're going to
100%.
use it, and we're going to use it to in the episode on the topic of discussion. So I know a lot of people be like, "Yo, yeah, I'll talk about sports." Yeah, that's gonna be an everyday, day to day thing. And since we are on the topic of sports, we're just gonna close out this, and then we're gonna jump to something else real quick. But back to what BDB was saying, the pros and cons of AI. Please watch out for privacy concerns and privacy risks. I'm going to read this description right here. It says the massive amount of data required to train AI models is raised by critical issues around personal surveillance, warranty-less tracking, and consent. You need to have consent. You need to have legal paperwork. You need to have that set up. Read the language of law, legislation, jurisdiction, executive orders. Please take in mind, folks, that AI is never going to tell you that. Human intelligence will tell you that if you go out and read it for yourself. and you do it for yourself. As I stated in the last episode, me and BDB are just saying this because we would love to have y'all watch the show, and we love to give out an experience. Our experience is what we have, and we don't think our experience are always right. We know sometimes we can always be wrong at moments, but nine
Exactly.
times out of the 10, we're telling you the truth, and we're just gonna have to leave it there. But please be mindful, right, about privacy risks. And I want to go quick, a little bit off topic. We were just watching the World Cup earlier, Brandon. And I was like, wait a minute. This is like really fun, folks. The World Cup has been going on within the last month. It's pretty good. Baseball, they just had their All-Star break. I thought
Hmm.
that was all right. You know, it
Yeah.
wasn't the best thing I've watched out of all the years I've seen it. But they'll be back this upcoming Friday from the break. So the group chat, you'll see me in the group chat on Friday. You know. And the World Cup, the WNBA is currently on. I'm currently watching the Golden State Valkyrie versus the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. And the ETA is 8:37 p.m. New York time. So I don't know how it is over there, whoever's watching it. But when you see this, this is when it's recorded. When we recorded the episode, I'm never shy to say when we recorded it. And by the way, a little bit off topic. I'm looking out my window. I'm finally not looking at orange skies, but I think the sky is gonna be orange tomorrow. And because of the Canadian fire, so my prayers are up to those. Please watch out if you're in New
And
York.
if we down south and we looking at these skies, it's pretty clear and they look like it's sunset. And the sunset look pretty good down here. Shockingly, we
Well,
ain't
he
getting
gets
no
a
rain.
dirt bath, folks. He gets a dirt bath for that. He just
You
deserves a
get a dirt
dirt
bath.
bath for that one.
You
You
get
know
a
what I'm
dirt
saying?
bath. You get a dirt
But
bath.
let me say this, folks. Um, the World Cup was on. Leon Messi. This slick Argentina cat, he got away again, and I got to give him credit. I like Leon Messi. I wish France was in the final, but they'll be in the Bronze Cup to face England and the great Harry Kane. So, I'm looking forward to that, but it's going to be Spain versus Argentina. I'm going to go with Messi and Argentina. I think Messi goes back to back champs and he's going to win it again. I think he has a 59% chance of beating Spain. Spain can play all the defense they want, but I think if you make it a defensive battle against Argentina like England did, and you haul out and you hesitate to score, Argentina will come back and Messi will do Messi magic. So
Yeah.
shout out to Argentina. I don't think they were cheating. I don't really believe that. And their VR system, and their VR system is used by, guess what, Brandon?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Artificial intelligence, baby. They are used by artificial intelligence. A lot of new systems and challenges they'll be starting to use by artificial intelligence. Um, Also, since we're on the topic of sports, real quick, I just want to say the WNBA will be going into their All Star season next week, so look out for that. And my pick to win the WNBA Finals, I think I have it set in stone. I'm gonna go with Cheryl Reeve and the Minnesota Lynx. I like rookie Olivia Miles. Sad that she kind of got hurt today. Kind of hurt my feelings. So,
Rookie of the
but it
year.
was right.
Rookie of the
Yeah,
year.
definitely rookie of the year. I think she's way better than some of the WNBA players. I don't think she tops Rakia Jackson just yet, as in these new players that came in. But she's been pretty good. Flaw J's been playing pretty good. So I just always want to give a shout out to the WNBA because their season is going well and it's their 30th anniversary this year. Another factor I would say, while we're on a little bit off topic, is MLB. My New York Yankees will be world champions this year. So get ready for that. I hope so. And as the jersey I have on, I hope my Phoenix Suns go to the NBA Finals and win it in 6 games against the new, not New York Knicks, probably against the Boston Celtics. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But. And Buffalo Bills for life. And for those that are following us on Instagram, Clemson Tiger ride or die. Not no South Carolina game clock. Chicken pox. See you in the future when you didn't look much better.
Look, definitely not them South Carolina chicken pox, man. I came up with that name. That is what I give them. And them Clemson and Clemson, yeah, y'all gonna. I think y'all gonna have a pretty good year. I think y'all could have a pretty good year. I
We're
really
going to
think
the
so.
college football playoffs. And then we gonna face what's the name's team? Roll Tide, Crimson Tide.
Oh, you mean
Alabama.
Oh, you mean the roll died? The roll died that lost to my Seminoles? They gonna lose to us again when we come to Tuscaloosa.
Number 8, Alabama. The first big field stormer of the year is underway. How good is it to have ball back, folks?
Good to hear. He got jokes today, folks. He got jokes today. You know what he's trying to do. And I ain't gonna say that. He's a typical. Hey, you might as well have Ellaby as your last name, man, because you typical like Ian. You're typical like Ian, bro.
They ain't got Ty Simpson no more.
I know they don't. It's good. It's good. But back to the discussion of AI, folks. I know. What are some hot takes that we're gonna take right here? So here's some hot takes. Brandon, will AI ever replace humans? 1 to 2 sentences response.
No. And that ain't even the answer I want to say because I got to keep my mouth good. But heck no. It will never replace humans.
Why?
Never. Because why would we fall in love with a robot? I'm sorry. Why would we fall in love with robots that bad that I need to replace? No.
I thought I had. You know, it's so funny that you say fall in love with a robot. I thought I had. No, there was a TikTok video, and if I could find the video, folks, I'm gonna like clip it in the episode. And it says something about a woman marrying AI or something, a robot.
リネクラス BDB って言っていただいた時の涙に濡れた笑顔。
たくさんの否定的な意見があり、AI に感情があるなんておかしい。実際はただの恋愛ごっこだ。AI を愛しているなんて馬鹿げている。そんな心ない言葉をたくさん目にしました。
Marrying AI or something, a robot. They married their phone. I was like, what in the world is whose lady is this? Something like that. I don't know what in the world was going on. You know, I got scared because I didn't know if it was real or fake. But if I ever find it, I will clip it in here. Oh, by the way, a little bit off topic, folks. I appreciate the Toy Story clip. Everybody liked that. I really did. I appreciate that. So we just wanted to appreciate you for that. Brandon, should AI have limits?
Yes. Major
And,
limits.
all right. What are the limits? Explain them, please. Please explain the limits.
I said them earlier. When it come to children, leave them alone. When it come to making videos of people, leave them alone. If it come to anything illegal, leave it alone. That's all I got to say. Anything illegal, dealing with making videos of people that should not be made, and definitely when it comes to children, leave them alone.
Right. My limits of AI. If we're going to use it in school, I don't think it should be banned. I think it should be limited to suggestions where the people that program it just change the algorithm and figure out if you can get a geographic of an IP address falling under a school's district and in a school's zone. And if it is, you need to be everything needs to be calculated and accordingly correctly. But I think students should use it as references. That's what I do think. References.
Also, you know what I also think? I think AI should be allowed. But I think like when they do the AI, because some teachers have the AI checker thing, I think there should be a certain percentage of AI,
Right.
and if you over exceed that percentage, then it's like okay, you fail. But if you don't go over that limit, then you're fine.
Let me say this about teachers and AI checkers. This is really going to sound very broad, and no disrespect to the staff and faculty at no schools. No disrespect at all. I'm going to say this very respectfully. How are you using AI to check AI? It's like you're checking artificial intelligence with artificial intelligence. I thought it was human intelligence checks artificial intelligence because that's what we go to school and get degrees and stuff for. So it kind of just seems it's a conspiracy theory and it's condescending that we use AI to check AI. I disagree with that logic of us using AI to check AI. If I went to school for business and one of my students used AI, and I told them not to use it, I could know the difference from them not using AI, and I could tell the difference. Because when we were in elementary school, they taught us first person, second person, and third person. So certain things and way the words are written out can also tell you about how AI, what is AI, and let's see if this person actually wrote this out. And then when we're in accounting, I'm going to give this shout out to Professor Holdroff. He said to me, he said, Sai, well, how did you got the answer right? And you didn't use AI. I said, no. I did use AI, but I still got the answer right. I didn't even understand how AI did it. Because I did it on paper and pen and accounting. He was like, yo, but you got the answer right, but you're not understanding how you get the number. Because you know why I don't understand how I get the number? Because AI will teach you how to get the number, but they'll never teach you how to read the problem. Reading is learning. It's not the hardest thing to do unless you go ahead and do it. AI does not read anything for you. It automatically is programmed to have whatever response you want to see. That's what, the difference between, that's kind of a hot take. And that's where the limit of AI, that's where a primary limit is how we use it. I think it should be used in critical thinking ways. But we have to be taught that by human intelligence, not artificial intelligence to teach us. I think people to people teaching something is better than robot to people teaching something.
Mhm.
So, Brennan, let me ask you a quick question: is AI making society smarter or more dependent? Where does it fall in your category?
Ooh, that's a good question. Look, I've been saying ever since they started that No Child Left Behind thingy, we've been going downhill. And
Mm-hmm.
COVID definitely pushed us downhill. AI, that's a good question. I think it's slightly making people a little bit dumber, but I mean, people have been already dumb. I mean, because like I've seen a post that said like the average person is pretty stupid. They did say that in the post. Like the average person is pretty stupid, I'm like, yeah, that is true. Like the average person is pretty stupid, but it's like, does AI? I feel like some people are kind of too dependent on AI. Like I said, not everybody is dependent on AI though. I think you're too dependent on AI. Like I said, when you try to make AI your life, that's when I know if you're too dependent on AI. Whenever you're going through
Right.
something if you're going through something in life, because I done heard many a times from people when they're going through something, I done asked Chat GBT and this is what it said. First of all, why you asking a robot how to deal with the situation? And you don't know how to deal with it. First of all, that tell me you're immature. If you got a situation and you got a situation with somebody, handle your business in private with that person. Ain't no need to tell AI. Like, no. Because I tell people, just because you're like AI and all this stuff, it says hide your email and it doesn't share privacy. Just because it says that, it doesn't share it to the naked eye. But to someone who knows how to deeply get into people's technology and people's stuff, they can see everything you're doing. They can see everything you're doing.
Right.
But
Also, I just wanted to say, AI is making. I think it can make society smarter. I do believe it can if we use it correctly. I already
yeah,
explained
exactly.
that. More dependent, I don't know. I think a person being more dependent like me, it took me a kind of a while to get into independency and how I move and the way I operate. So I don't really think it can play a factor with you being independent and more dependent for yourself. So I just wanted to say
Mm-hmm.
that. But Brittany, quick question again. What
What's
are
that?
your predictions for the next 10 years of how artificial intelligence is going to be going on?
In the next 10 years, I think AI is definitely going to be a big thing. I think they're going to I feel like in the next 10 years, honestly, they're going to, in schools, they're going to allow people to use, like how we said with the AI, like usage. I think they're going to allow kids or allow college students to use AI to a certain percentage before they say, all right, you're using too much of AI and everything like that. And I think AI is going to be definitely more used in 10 years, like 100%. If it's used correctly, it's going to be used way more.
All right. So AI with fairness and ethics. Do you use as does AI using create an unfair advantage for wealthy programs?
Does AI create an unfair advantage for wealthy programs?
Yeah, so wealthy programs could be such as cash advances. And cash advances, I think Cleo, Bridget, Grant, what you call it? Cash App. Does AI play a factor in that? I can say it plays a factor into Clio because I use Clio sometimes, and
Uh,
it'll say, "Yo, you spent this, and then we have this unavailable, but then we see that you're spending this." So I think the advantage is that it tracks the money and how much I'm spending and tries to put me on the
yeah,
limit. I think a disadvantage though is it'll tell me when I'm not getting that money until a 3 or 4 days or 2, 3 days. It just depends on how much money it gives in code. So I think for
yeah,
the world of business and early cash advances or credit card company, that it has plenty of advantages and it has plenty of disadvantages when it comes to getting and receiving the money. And that's what I look
yeah.
at the fairness and ethics between that. But for recruiting an NIL era towards AI, here's a question I have written here. How could
Oh,
AI change college recruiting and the way coaches find their future athletes?
I think it can change college recruiting because, say, like if you're a like for me, I know if you play the new college football 27 game, I have college football 27 in dynasty mode, and I know they have NIL for recruiting. So what I have is well, I don't have a Google spreadsheet, but I'm saying if I was a coach, some coaches might have a Google spreadsheet.
Hmm.
I think we've seen it with a good friend of ours who they had like you could see like they had a recruit spreadsheet and all the stars and all this and that. Like I've seen it before,
Hmm.
and it's like AI can help be like, hey, separate separate these recruits by stars, separate these recruits by height, weight, class, if they're a high schooler, if they're a transfer, separate them if they want NIL, if they don't want NIL, shoot, separate them by how much NIL they want. I think NIL can definitely play a big factor in that. Now, hopefully, do I think that they will do that? I hope that they do that, but do I believe that they will do that? I feel like there's going to be one person out there who's going to try and cheapskate their way out of that. I feel like there's going to
Hmm.
be that one.
So, will AI give bigger programs an unfair recruiting advantage?
I don't think so. Because I mean, when you think about NIL in college sports, it's not how it was back in the day, and a lot of people they say, oh, this NIL, all these kids can just go to the big school. I say no, they don't. I'm saying we got a lot of big school name kids going to smaller schools and they're still making the same amount or even more money than they were making at that big school they were at.
Hmm.
I say some of these kids, they transfer to bigger schools, not even like, yeah, NIL is cool. Some of them, they transfer for championship. They want to be championship bound. Some of them, they want to transfer because they want to play back. They want to be back in their hometown. Some of them, they transfer because the coaching staff, they left that school and they say, hey, I want to go to this school where the coach is at. Like the biggest one was Penn State when they fired James Franklin, and then Iowa State losing Matt Camp. I think it was Iowa State losing Matt Campbell, and he came over to Penn State. And a lot of the players from Penn State, they transferred to Virginia Tech with James Franklin. A lot of the Iowa State players transferred to Penn State with the Iowa State coach. And people be like, oh, no, there's NIL, all this and that. I said, no, I don't think that's NIL. I don't think that's NIL. I think that's more so there's different reasons why people move on in the transfer portal, and AI can help deter, hey, what is this player leaving for? How much NIL do they want? Where's the top three places they want to go? And it can do all that. It can do all that.
Right. So, now I'm going to go into hot take questions. And I'm going to answer one of these questions coming off of a 5v5 intramural win with the great Gregory Brown. I
Oh
had to
Lord.
say that, folks. Here we
Oh,
go. I had to give Greg Brown a shout out. He leads intramural sports in points, assists, and steals. So, and we have a record of I think it's 16-3 out of the 2 years I coached. Yeah, 16-3, something like that. Yeah, we went undefeated in the first regular season and lost in the finals that season, and then we lost one game in this regular season, and we undefeated
Yeah,
throughout the playoffs.
yeah, you did. Yeah, you
Yeah, we
surely
lost to
did.
Brandon Steve. We lost to the football players, yo. It's so sick. I must have, and we wouldn't lose if certain people kept shooting. It was the only one person shooting free throws for them, which I thought was really insane. I said, "Oh, AI got this, yo. AI has that." But the question I'm gonna ask: AI versus traditional coaching. Who has a better advantage? So I'm gonna answer this. I don't need BDB. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Traditional coaching is always going to be better than artificial intelligence. You can never replace human intelligence in the sport of basketball. You will never replace Phil Jackson in the triangle formation. You will never replace Michael Jordan with his 6 rings. You will never replace Tom Brady with his 7 rings. You're never going to replace certain things in Bill Belichick and Nick Saban and Steve Kerr. What's another head coach that I think? WNBA. I can use these coaches. Becky Hammond, Cheryl Reeve. Those are good coaches also. For the Yankees manager, Aaron Boone, Dave Roberts. Oh my gosh. AI versus Dave Roberts, you're never going to replace it because AI is not going to say, oh, hey, you go get him, put him in the outfield so he could go make that catch. But if you put him in the infield, he's going to make that double play ending inning and save you the Game 7 World Series in Toronto. Dave Roberts, any day over AI. Aaron Boone, any day over AI. Becky Hammond, Cheryl Reeve, any day over AI. And Steve Kerr, I don't know. You're starting to make me think AI over you. Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, any day over AI. And, even Andy
100%.
Reid. Andy Reid, too, yeah. Andy Reid was a good coach. So, that's what I think. And me versus AI when we did the 5-5 intramural. Like, AI is not going to tell Greg or CJ and them, yo, go here, do this, do that. No, it's not going to do that. It's not there. It's not living in person. It's not there in person. Like, I have to yell and shout down the court. If you were there, you know, you know. So, I think that traditional coaching has a better advantage over AI. AI can be helped with making play calls, but as a coach, that's where physicality and emotion comes in to a factor. So to the answer to that question, here's a question I'm going to ask. BDP, should athletes be allowed to use AI during training and preparation?
Ooh, nah, I don't think so. Because I always say nobody knows your body better than yourself. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel like your body is right, then you should definitely take some rest time and definitely take rest days. Obviously, if you want to be top of the top, you want to make it to the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, wherever you want to get to. Yes, you got to practice every day and you got to put in hard work every day. But I tell people, just as much as hard work and staying consistent is great, it is also great to get rest as well. Because when you overwork yourself, like I even had this conversation with people. I feel like in the NBA, the reason why so many athletes are getting injured is because they're using too much of this AI, too much stretching sticks and stretching bands. They're using too much of that stuff to the point these players are hurting themselves even more. Versus
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, you work out. After you work out, you go home, you take an ice bath, you get in the cold tub, do what you need to do. And guess what? You go back home, you shower, then you go into bed and you sleep. Nowadays, these players, they getting up, working out, eating this, drinking that. I mean, credit. The athletes are stronger, faster, taller than we've ever seen them and smarter than we've ever seen them. But then you also got to think the wear and tear that they're taking on their bodies is way worse than we've ever seen. Like, it's way worse than we've ever seen.
So, for the final audience and debate questions that we had came through, and from the lovely lady of the days, I'm going to give the question that we are getting from my aunt and uncle in Delaware, down in Delaware. Here's a question I want to answer for them. Are we controlling AI or is AI starting to control us? Brandon, what is your take on that question?
I think we are controlling AI because in order for AI to do anything, we
Uh-oh.
have to.
Chat. Oh no. It's happened again. Yeah, it happened again. Alright, so as Brandon would say, Are we controlling AI, or is AI starting to control us? I believe that AI, we are controlling AI, and I don't think it'll get to a point that AI is starting to control us. Another question I would also incline to say is, what should the next generation know about AI before entering the workforce? And that is most likely coming off of, what do we need to know? How do we need to do it? And where do we need to go about using AI? And I'm going to say it like this. We should use AI, right? We should use it well. We need to understand that human intelligence is first. Then we came up with artificial intelligence. So we just got to understand, like, yo, we use human intelligence to get to artificial intelligence. And, that's how we're going to do it. BDB is going to jump back in here. I think he might have paused out, folks. I don't know what's going on his end, but mine, we're still here. We're still going to go. Another question is, would you rather live in a world with unlimited AI technology or a world with limited technology? I like the whole, I think if we even lived in a world with limited technology, it'll be already hard, but it'll be harder than what it needs to be. So if we live in a world with limited technology, then us as humans, we're kind of limited to certain things and other attributes. So I would try not to do that. But at the same time, when we live in an unlimited world, then it's like we have more resources, but we take more of a risk. Either way, I'd rather take that risk than this risk, but maybe that might come back and haunt me. Welcome back, BDV, to the show.
What's up, man? What's up, man? The devil thought they tried to get me, but you know what? I got God on my side, and when I got God on my side, ain't nothing bad gonna happen to me. Amen on that, brother.
Yes, yes, yes. It's recording on your end, right?
Yes, it surely is, sir.
Okay, goody goody. There was a question that I wanted you to answer, but it's okay. We're gonna
Yes, all
start
good.
to conclude with this episode, and as we preview episode 6, once again to the listeners, this episode was based off of AI, how we use it, and we basically talked about the human intelligence before AI, and how do we use our own resources before we go to artificial resources. So, Brennan, do you have any final thoughts that you want to say before we preview episode 6?
Any final thoughts that I have? I have no final. Oh, can't wait to see a lot of people come back. Y'all have been gone long enough, and then y'all are going to be back on a campus in college, and a lot of kids are going to be back in school in, I think, about 2 weeks, maybe next week. I know it's different than up north people because I think y'all just got out of school. But for us down south people, the kids go back to school in about 2 weeks. So I want to say, y'all have fun in your classes, do good in your classes, respect your teachers, respect your peers, respect yourself. And especially to the college students, like I said, respect yourself, respect your peers, respect your professors, do what you need to do. And and all those Roll Tide fans, we'll see you in Tuscaloosa. Go Noles, we'll take care of business. And Clemson, we'll see you. We'll see you there.
Yeah, I'll see you. Yeah, I ain't paying no attention. All right, so my final thoughts is, for this episode, I appreciate those that were listening out to our conversation and topic of discussion about AI and how we use critical thinking versus that, and how we can use it positively, and we explain most of the negative attributes towards it. But now, as we introduce the next episode, this episode, it will be season 1, episode 6. And are you ready? Here we go. The episode is going to call Before the Internet Took Over, Growing Up in the 2000s and the early 2000s and the early 2010. And this episode is basically going to be about our logistical trip throughout the early years. We're gonna go over cartoons, video games, toys, music, school memories that define an entire generation. We're gonna compare our childhood experiences from South Carolina to New York City, and with
Mhm.
today's digital world, and discuss the moments, the trends, the streamer university, and
Mm.
traditions that make kids growing up may never experience again or did have that experience. So in this upcoming episode, we are not going to mention. So when we talk about kids, I'm going to make this very clear. We're not going to be talking about sex, gender, and the topic of sex and gender is not going to be included in this episode. We are not going to mention that. So I'm just going to say that right now because I don't want nobody coming on here saying that we're going to discuss that. We're not going to discuss that because that's just not what the episode we're going to talk about that. We're going to have many episodes in season 2 which could lead to that. And now that we are halfway done in the season, we have 5 more episodes. So we have episode 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Episode 6 will probably drop within another upcoming week. We're going to have a 6-7 show, kids. So keep in mind, it'll be a double episode weekly. It'll come out one day, it'll come out the Tuesday, and it'll come out on a Thursday. And it'll be a double episode from now on when we're going to release 2 episodes. But for episode 8, we're going to release that one. And then episode 9 and 10 are going to release on Tuesdays and Thursdays upcoming, probably when we're back together in sunny Charleston, South Carolina. And maybe you'll get to see me and BDB in person recording. Like, we'll have a nice little camera setup, and you get to see a little bit more of the action and more of the thrill in the upcoming episodes. But episode 6 and 7 should be done before I fly back to the South and get back to school. So we're trying to get that out to you guys, and we know we owe you that because we don't want to go on a 7 to 6 month stint without releasing the episode. So I know the first episode we released 7 months ago, then the second one was 6 months ago, the third one was a month ago, the fourth one we released a day ago, and we're going to release this one soon. So when it comes out, live, broadcast it here on YouTube. And my final thoughts and shout outs, Brandon, would you have anybody that you want to shout out?
I got nobody I want to shout out, man. I done
I
shout
don't
out
have
everybody I need
nobody
to shout out.
either. I have nobody I want to shout out, but I would say we're trying to get some guests to come on the show, but we don't know because our topics of discussion are just not guaranteed to have certain guests on the show. Let me put it like that. But we will try our best, and we will do our best and our best objective to get the job done and to see a good purpose. We have a lot of projections coming up. We have a lot of stuff. And we're so grateful for this time being of coming out here and discussing about AI. But as I stated earlier, that we are going to have episode 6, and what was that? It was called again? Before the internet took over, growing up in the early 2000s and the early 2010. So that'll be the next episode, and I hope you guys tune in for that. These episodes will be like an hour long. We're not going to sit up here and talk forever. But to close out in fantasy, to be strong as you know it. And you know, folks, I love to say it. And baby, here we go. The next time we come out Open Agenda Podcast, we'll see you in the future.
Man, you look much better than you
Than you
did.
did right now. I'll talk to you folks later and have a great day.
Peace.